What is up, everybody? Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks for tomorrow's NBA betting slate, depending on when you're watching this. We're talking Tuesday, April 15th. So we got the two play-in games that we're talking about in today's video, Hawks versus Magic, Grizzlies versus Warriors. I'm going to have three NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in, along with a nice juicy ladder climb as well. So technically it's 4 total bets backing 3 people. Now, before we get into those picks for tomorrow, today, depending on whenever you're watching this, I do want to do a recap of the entire season, how things have gone. I haven't had a video in a couple weeks, so I do have a little bit to recap. Admittedly, not the proudest NBA season that I've ever had. Up 26.44 units on the year. That's not terrible. Obviously, we made money. We made over 20 units. But with the volume that I played, that was only a 4.78% ROI. Obviously, we're hoping for a better season than that. 5% just below that ROI in the grand scheme of things isn't terrible. I'm just a little bit disappointed in how things went. But playoffs. It's a new season. Last year, we profited about 10.5 units in the playoffs. That includes the play-in games. Let's hope we can have that same amount of success this year. That was about a 5% ROI on the playoffs last year. So, hey, if we made a third of our unit sizing in the playoffs, that wouldn't be terrible. So let's see how that goes. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So if you don't remember, or if you're new to my channel, Props Madness is my favorite NBA betting tool. They make changes to it all the time. They just keep upgrading the software, but it's an amazing tool. I put a link to them in the description of the video if you are interested. And we can get right into it. So I'm just going to go in order of the games. The Hawks Magic. One question that I'm sure you guys have is, am I only going to bet first quarter props in the playoffs? The answer to that question is no. I do have a non-first quarter player prop. I also do have first quarter player prop, so I'm also not avoiding it entirely. This game is the non-first quarter player prop. Caris LeVert, I took him over 12.5 points. It was minus 105 odds at Fanatics. Now you can get it at minus 110 odds at BetMGM. And I would still take it there. So no issues taking it at the minus 110 price at BetMGM. I also put a half unit on him to score 15 plus points as well. That's at plus 115 or 190 odds, plus 190 odds at that was at Bet365. So it's a unit on his mainline prop of 12.5. It's a half unit on 15 plus. So Caris LeVert, as a member of the Hawks with Trae Young, he's been pretty good. He's played 26 games. He's gone over 12.5 points in 17 of those 26 games. He's averaging just about 15 points per game. So the main line looks pretty good, averaging 2 points above that. And then he's basically averaging the ladder play that we were taking him as well. Now, some of these games, this last game against the Sixers, they won by 14. That Sixers team was a joke. He shot 12 of 15. That's obviously an outlier. He's not going to go 4 or 5 from deep or anything like that. But he does have a pretty important secondary scoring role as a member of the Hawks. And the matchup on paper looked like a scary one. I mean, the Magic defense is very good. I guess the opponent stats is not filtering in here. Normally it shows you the opponent stats, but it doesn't matter. They give up the fewest points per game via the above the break 3. Spot up, they don't give up anything. Transition, they don't give up anything. It looks like a tough matchup. This is a matchup that LeVert has done very, very well in as a member of the Hawks. He's hit it in all 3 games against the Magic. 18 points, took 11 shots, scored 13 points, took 13 shots, 13 points, 11 shots. The biggest thing here is the volume. He puts up shots against the Magic. Now, the over 12.5 number, twice he scored exactly 13 points. But for he's taken 11, 13, 15, 11 shots in 7 3-pointers, 3 3-pointers, 6 3-pointers. Now that stuff looks good for someone who are asking to score 12 or 15 points. And even though it looks like a tough matchup on paper, 9 of 15 guys with a similar scoring profile to Caris LeVert have gone over against the Magic. That includes, obviously, 3 times when Caris LeVert did it, but also includes Austin Reeves, who scored 18 points on an over-under of 18.5. It includes Terry Rozier, who scored 11 points on an over-under of 11.5. It includes Bradley Beal, 18 points on an over-under of 18.5. So 3 guys that came really close. If you just look at the forward position in general, which is what this tab is showing you, it's admittedly not as good of data because it's just giving you guys that are categorized as actually guard, not even forward, guard is what I meant to say. Categorized as guards, so it doesn't really matter how they score. But just to kind of show you, also 9 of 15 guys who really struggle against the Magic are guys that can only really score on the interior. The Magic allow a decent amount via pull-ups. As we can see, they allow the 11th, 12th most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers. And this is looking at Caris LeVert as a member of the Hawks. So yeah, the top two play types are a little bit scary, but he can score with the ball in his hands, and he can score well doing it. He can get to the free throw line, another 12% of his points. It's not amazing, but all that stuff adds up. And then if he has any opportunity to ISO, they're not a great ISO defense as well. So these guys have success against the Magic. So Caris LeVert is our first official play of the video. I do have two leans in this game. I really debated Trae Young. It's a really good scoring matchup for Trae Young. You look at him, it's just a high number. It's 27.5 points for Trae, or 26.5 if you want to go that route at BetMGM. And if you go to the first quarter, it's a little bit better. It's 5.5 at -115. So if I was going to bet Trae, I would actually bet him in the first quarter as opposed to the full game. You're asking, like, obviously hit rate isn't everything, but the reason why I bet first quarter props a lot is because I don't think the books can accurately price them. So like we're asking him to score 6 points in the first quarter or 28 points in the entire game. It's an 11 of 24 hit rate versus 15 of 24 hit rate. And the matchup is really good. I mean, we look at how players score against the Magic. 10 of 15 with a similar scoring profile to Trae have gone over against the Magic. And you look at the head-to-head, really good on the year, 19 points the first time, but then 38 and 28. And then in the first quarter, it's the same thing. It's over in 2 of 3. So in terms of the matchup, he's over in 2 of 3. The first quarter, if I was going to bet it, would be how I would play it, but I didn't want to have both him and LeVert in the same game. And I liked the LeVert look a little bit better. And then on the other side, Franz has a really good matchup to score. Again, it's just priced so high. I mean, 25.5. He's only hit that in 6 of his last 24 games. The matchup's phenomenal. 11 of 15 guys have gone over against the Hawks. You look at the play types, 24th, 18th, 24th, 23rd. Like across the board, it's a really good matchup. Franz in the first quarter has been a lot better. It's still only a 10 of 24 hit rate in the first quarter, but against the Hawks, it's over in 3 of 3. So if you want to target Franz, this would be another situation where I would target him in the first quarter as opposed to the entire game. I mean, it's 3 of 3 versus 1 of 3. And that stuff is important. If it's a blowout, if he starts hot and doesn't shoot well, like that stuff matters. And in the playoffs, granted, I don't know if we're going to go to their playoff rotation. Franz in the first quarter after the first 2 games played basically the entire first quarter. Now, I don't know if they're going to start doing that. Obviously, we don't know what their rotations are going to be like. So I wouldn't necessarily count on him playing 11, 12 minutes. He's probably going to play closer to the 8, 9 minutes that he's played recently, like averaging about 8 in his last 10 games. But I did just want to kind of give that a shout out. This is 2 leans that I had, but the official bet here is the Caris LeVert one. And then in terms of the next game, Grizzlies versus Warriors, I got 2 props in this one. Both of them are in the first quarter. And I'm going to go Santi Aldama. I took him over 2.5 first quarter points. Now, this is best offered at -130 odds. The way that I would classify this is I hate the odds. I love the play. And I think this is absolutely a situation where it makes a lot more sense to take him in the first quarter as opposed to the full game. And I'll tell you why. So first quarter, his last 24 games, 80% hit rate, hit it. Let me talk about this. And I'm looking at games with John Morant, with Jaren Jackson Jr., and with Desmond Bane, with all of their guys healthy, which you figure would hurt somebody who has having shots taken away from him. He's over 3.5 points, 2.5 points. That's important. 2.5 points in the first quarter. In 19 of 24 games, he's averaging about 4.2 points per game. We look at the entire season with all those guys in the lineup. It's a 76% hit rate, 26 of 34 games, averaging 4.5 points per game. Now let's go just the full game in general. Now that's still good. His hit rate over under of 10.5. Still gone over that in 19 of 34 games. Still averaging above what we're asking him to do, but it goes from a 55% hit rate to a 76% hit rate. That's with all 3 of these guys in the lineup. Look at the last 10 games he's played with them. He's missed it once versus 5 of 10 for his full game. And you just look at the entire season. So we're not looking at with guys in and out of the lineup. His over under of 12.5, again, 55% hit rate. His over under of 2.5 in the first quarter, 72% hit rate. So obviously, again, hit rate isn't everything, but when you're debating between the full game and the first quarter, that's when that stuff is important to me. And I just like the fact that he just comes in and chucks. Like, he's going to come in, his role is to shoot, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Like, he's going to come in, he's going to take 3-pointers, and we're just going to ask him to make one. That's all we're going to do. And he averages about 2 attempts in the first quarter. That's not amazing, but that's 3-point attempts specifically. So basically, can he make 1 of 2? And then the matchup is phenomenal against the Warriors. It's exactly what you look for. 7 of 12 guys with Santi Aldama's scoring profile have gone over against the Warriors. You want to know why? They're a ball pressure defense. They give up a ton of points to the spot up shooter, 6th most in the NBA. They give up nothing to, I want to look at pick and roll ball handler, which would be Desmond Bane. 4th fewest points per game allowed to the pick and roll ball handler. So Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, not great scoring matchups. Now, Ja on the assists, I think looks good, but I do not like his points. So that's play number 1, Santi Aldama. And then the last thing I'll mention is in terms of the head-to-head, he missed it in one game. No, I'm looking at the first quarter. Same thing. He missed it in one game. He cashed it in the other 2. In the 2 games, he went over 8 points in the first quarter, 6 points. Look at the volume. 3 shots, 2 3-pointers, 7 shots, 5 3-pointers in the first quarter. And then we want to look at with all 3 of those guys in, and don't look at all these guys listed as out. The injury reports haven't been released yet, so this is just going off of their last game. So trust me, these guys are playing. With those 3 guys in the lineup, it's 2 of 2 games. So the only game he missed in terms of Santi Aldama didn't go over in the first quarter. These 2 guys didn't play. So I love this one. I hopefully it made sense why I like the first quarter over the full game. But if you don't like the first quarter, I would 100% take his full game. Absolutely. He hit that in both games against them as well with 21 and 18 points. Obviously, the playoffs are different. His rotation, his spot is going to be there. They're not going to stop playing Santi Aldama. So, but again, if you don't like the first quarter, I'm more than happy taking his full game at 10.5. And then the second play that I have in this game, third play total, is another first quarter prop. We're going Brandon Pajemski over 3.5 first quarter points. Actually, you can get a better price. I got it at -130. You can now get it at -125. I absolutely love this play as well for very, very similar logic. You compare the 2, he looks much better in the first quarter than he does in the full game. Now, the important thing is he wasn't always a starter. So if you look at the beginning of the year, so let's take out Jimmy. His first quarter minutes at the beginning of the year were low. I mean, sometimes like when Steph was out, let's look at with Steph Curry specifically. He barely played in the first quarter. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, whatever. You see that he barely played 0 minutes. Then whenever they traded for Jimmy Butler, they traded Andrew Wiggins, they put him in the starting lineup. That's when he started to play more in the first quarter. So if we look at we look at games with Jimmy Butler, he averages about 7.5 points per game in the first quarter. One time he only played 1 minute. I think he got hurt in this game, if I remember correctly, which is why he only played 1 minute. So you take out that outlier. It's about 8 minutes per game in the first quarter. And you look at games he played with Steph, with Draymond, those 3, and you look at every single game, and that's even including the one where he only played 1 minute, which is kind of an outlier. He's got over 3.5 points in the first quarter in 16 of 22 games. Again, you take that game out, 16 of 21. You look at the entire season with those 2 guys in the lineup, and let's be fair and take that game out because he got hurt. And again, he only played 2 minutes in that game, 1 minute. It's 11 of 21. So yeah, it's not bad, but 16 of 21, 17 of 21 is a lot better than 11 of 21 on the entire season. His over-under is 15.5 at -105. That's actually a good price. I would take this at 16.5 at -105 at DraftKings. He averages 16 points per game in the first quarter with these guys in the lineup. He averages close to 6 points in the first quarter, and his over-under is only 3.5. So again, it's a situation where I think it makes a lot more sense to take him in the first quarter. And then the last thing that I'll mention here is if you add Kuminga, it still looks really good for Brandon Pajemski. It's over in 6 of 9 games. Granted, this game, so it's over in 6 of 9 games with all 4 of those guys in the lineup, and it's 5 of 9. So it's similar in terms of his full game when you add in Kuminga. But you look at the head-to-head, Kuminga didn't play in either of these games. You look at with all 3 of these guys in the lineup against the Grizzlies, he missed his full game. He cashed his first quarter. He scored 4 points in the first quarter, scored 8 points in the entire game. And the matchup, similar to Aldama, is really, really good. The Grizzlies are also a ball pressure type of defense, but you see they give up a lot to the pick and roll ball handler. They give up a lot to the secondary pick and roll ball handler. And I know Steph just cooked them for like 60 points, but generally the number 1 options are the ones that don't have success against the Grizzlies. So that's why you see Brandon Pajemski, guys like him, not the main guys, the secondary playmakers, 10 of 15 have hit their point prop over And you look at the play types here. I mean, 12th most points per game via spot up. Okay, so that's not great. But then 5th most via transition, 8th most to the pick and roll ball handler, 2nd most via free throws. That's literally play type 1 through 4 for where Brandon Podziemski's points come from. So I really like this one. Podziemski over 3.5 first quarter points. That's our third and final official bet of the video. Some leans that I have, the one lean that I had actually is Draymond on the assists. Now you could go over 5.5 for -115, which I don't hate. You look at the head-to-head here, and I want to look at games he played with Jimmy Butler because the team is totally different. So he hit this over. He had 12 assists. He had 25 potential assists in that game. So when the Warriors had Steph and Jimmy, he had 25 potential assists in this last game against this team. That was 2 weeks ago. That was April 1st, literally 2 weeks on the date of this game. So that would be where I would go. If I was adding another play in this game, that would be Draymond assist. Honestly, I wouldn't hate a ladder on him all the way up to 12 or to 10 as well. I mean, 25 potential assists is crazy. It's not like he had any outlier. 12 assists, yeah, that's an outlier, but 25 potential assists is not. So that's where I would go as another lean. But the 3 official bets that we have plus the ladder play is Karis LeVert over 12.5 points, Karis LeVert 15 plus points, and then it's Santi Aldama over 2.5 first quarter points, and Brandon Podziemski, this should be over 3.5, not 2.5, over 3.5 first quarter points. So we're risking 4.15 units total, and if all 4 of our bets win, we would profit 3.95 units. So we're risking a little bit more than what our profit is, which I don't always love doing. But when you have 2 -130 plays, that's unfortunately just how things go. But that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out Props Madness. I put a link to them in the description of the video. Also, if you want, check out my Tails account, which is where I send all my plays out. So if you're watching this and the odds are different, I unfortunately cannot help that. My way to combat that is to just have this service where I just send out plays early, $10 a month. If you're interested, check it out. But that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bet responsibly, and have a good one.